All right, all right, all right. There he is. So
I am here.
I haven't looked at the comments because I've been this thing has been bombarded here. Did McDaniel take the heat? Did he accept the responsibility? Because he pretty much gave away this game.
I mean, he kind of just said they let some things snowball. That as a team, he would like for I guess them to keep momentum and have more consistency from play to play, not drop their heads, not drop their quality of play after giving up a big play or after a big penalty happens, and so on and so forth. Uh, there
Did
were
is that you buying any of that mental masturbation?
Um, I think, to an extent, I'd have to go back and look at the body language, but like there were moments in this game that I would believe would be kind of debilitating to morale.
Oh yeah, you
The
mean like
Josh
not
Allen.
running on 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3 when the two running backs are averaging over 7 yards a carry? You mean like
Yeah,
that? Like that's demoralizing? Yeah, yeah, I would call that demoralizing.
it is. You do kind of have to wonder why. Mostert's got 100 yards on his first 8 carries. And he finishes with 16. Um, yeah, you do. But for the most
Bro,
part, until it fell
bro,
apart,
Salvon Ahmed was
Savon
kicking
Ahmed was
ass.
strong. It was good to see. It was good. I meant to tweet it out. It was good to see Savon. It was good to see Savon produce because he looked really strong in training camp. It just wasn't. He's not going to overtake your big money guys in Mostert and
But he
Edmonds.
was
But
balling
he had
tonight.
a really good. He had a
He was
very
balling.
good training camp. So it was good to see that translate
No
to the
training
field.
camp. He was balling tonight. Forget
I'm
training
saying
camp. He
I'm
was
saying
balling
it was
tonight.
good to see him
I
ball
know,
out
I
in
know.
a game because he hasn't been in a game. It's his
I
first
know.
game, like first real workload. So yeah, it was good to see him do that after the last time we saw him was in training camp. But at the same time, like they're in control of this game, man. Like it was they had
They
the
gave
eight
this
point
game
lead
away, bro. This game,
and
they look. If you go for some of
it's
those 3rd downs, you keep some of these drives alive. Maybe they result in more points. You don't. You go for a 2-point conversion so early in the game, which is so stupid. You're on the road, bro. Take the point. Which at the end, it would have been an 8-point game. It would have been a 9-point game. And then the other problem that reared its ugly head last week that the receivers effed up a few times. They effed up again tonight. Obviously, dropping 2 touchdowns in one possession with Sherfield and Tyreek, and an asinine call by the coach. He puts Braylon Sanders in there, and dude, all the kid has to do is keep running, and he's running right into a touchdown. Instead, he has depth perception problems, and he thinks the ball is going to fall 15 yards short. Like, what the f is? Why are you putting that neophyte in that position, dude? These are bad coaching decisions that happen. I'm really disappointed in McDaniel the last 2 weeks.
I
Last
don't
week, very,
remember.
very,
I don't,
very ignorant. Listen to this: very ignorant football. San Francisco stuffs the middle. You do nothing when the Chargers do it. You had no adjustment to it. You refuse to use the running game. This week, the running game's working. You refuse to use the running game, and you keep failing on 3rd and shorts. You put Braylon Sanders in a position that he's not ready to put. You take a 2-point conversion when it's not even. Don't give me no chart. You take the damn extra point. There were so many decisions that he did that effed up this game. And one of the things that I've seen too is he's a little. No, he's very stubborn. And
what would the extra point have done? They lost by 3, so they lose by 2 instead of 3. Like, no, you
no,
got to tie the game up. Like
it's totality, bro. It's the fundamentals of everything. It's not running the ball on those 3rd downs. You might have extended some other drives. You might have added more points. So besides that one, you add a field goal to that. That's 4 now, my brother. If the receivers actually hang on to a football, that's 4 more on top of your one. That's 5 points, man. So now you're forcing them to go for a touchdown. Everything changes. It's all building blocks of mistakes that you made that you put yourself in this position overall throughout the game. That's what it
you know,
happened.
I don't remember because I did a lot of shows. I did a lot of shows this week, and I don't remember who exactly I said it to. I think it was you on this show on Thursday that River Craycraft not being able to play would be a sneaky big deal. Would sneakily be a big deal. because it bumps the rest of the receivers up. Like, it's not like they're going to throw Ezukama in there. He's not ready. So Sanders has to take on a role that maybe you would see Craycraft in, or like maybe you would see him on the field, and so Sherfield or Wilson would be in that position instead of Sanders. Like, little things do
I'd rather see
have a way
Wilson
of
in that
snowballing.
position or Gesicki in that position.
Yeah, Wilson came up with that great catch. They had a lot of momentum going on that drive when the snow first started falling. I liked the confidence to allow Tua to keep throwing the ball despite weather conditions. And then it fell apart after that 20-yard reception. I think that little, what was it, the little bubble screen or screen to Tyreek, whatever that was.
No
that set them back.
separation there. There was no window to throw there. Why are you even doing this?
And Tua had his positives. The throw to Waddle. Waddle was hella open, but he put it on the spot for Jalen to catch and run in stride. Brother,
he ran the 4-yard mess up for Braylon Sanders. If Braylon Sanders keeps running, that's a touchdown in stride.
Because everything works so fast. Everything moves so fast. I actually have not seen the replay of the Sanders pass. Because from my angle in the box, it didn't look like a great pass, but I haven't seen it. I've only seen it once.
All he has to do is, instead of stopping, he just keeps running, and he probably runs right into it in stride. And who knows? It's probably a touchdown because he's splitting. It looked like the same play they hit against Buffalo earlier in the season, because he was splitting two safeties. So
it was like, and then I liked, he kind of abused DeMar Hamlin, the Bills safety, their Micah Hyde replacement, looking him off and then hitting Tyreek. Did well. There are still those plays where, like I've been saying for the past 2-3 weeks, where you want to see him create off structure. You want to see him create off script. And it still feels like, the worst version of Tua that you get is when, the rhythm is disrupted. Some guys no, it's not every quarterback. We've seen 2 weeks in a row quarterbacks that thrive when the play breaks down. It's not every quarterback. That it doesn't make him a bad quarterback. It keeps him from the upper echelon of NFL quarterbacks. Like, that's still what we're waiting for him to break out and do. It's a difficult environment to do it when it starts snowing there at the end, but it's still the next step. It still feels like, okay, outside of the rhythm of the offense, there's still
Super Bowls have been won with lesser quarterbacks than Tua. Okay,
Super Bowls have been won. I mean, it's a week
with lesser quarterbacks than Tua. Okay,
and Super Bowls have been won with better quarterbacks than Tua. Like, that's not an argument.
But my point is that's kind of the problem with this. Everybody keeps moving the goalposts. Tua wasn't the problem today.
I didn't say he
lose
was.
The game.
I didn't say he lost the game. I said that there are still moments. There are still moments where you want to
bullshit off script, bro.
Yes, there is.
No, you know what you need? You need Trent Sherfield to
catch
the goddamn ball.
What was the biggest play of the first half? What was the biggest play of the first half?
I don't know. What was it?
The final play of the first half. When Josh keeps a play alive for 7 damn seconds and then throws a touch. That's what creating off script does. Like, that is still what we're looking for him. That is still what's keeping him from tier 3 to tier 4.
Let me end this. Who's more accurate from the pocket, bro? Thank you for playing.
How much does that matter when the past 3 weeks teams have disrupted his passing from the pocket?
Because you don't have to go off script.
Yeah,
Joe Montana wasn't going off script. Neither was Drew Brees, my brother. See, the problem is here.
This is a new game. This is a new game. This is a completely new game. It's 2022. How are you going to tell me they've lost 3 games in a row with teams disrupting their rhythm, and you're going to tell me that it doesn't fucking matter? You're going to tell me it doesn't matter?
He never won a Super Bowl because he couldn't move? Really?
Did they win a Super Bowl? Did they win a Super Bowl?
No, they didn't. But they got there.
How are you going to tell me? How are you going to tell me that the past 3 teams they've played have forced him to hang on to the ball longer, and they have lost all 3 games? How are you going to tell me there's no correlation?
Because I'm telling you, because the coach screwed up. Now, if you don't want to admit it, That's that's another ball
I
game
get
if you
like
want.
this
The
isn't
coach
Tua,
gave
like
away this game today, not
this is
Tua.
not this isn't Tua. It's not Tua's fault. But what I keep saying, it's not. It's going one in one ear and directly through. That is keeping him from being that next level quarterback. That is still keeping. He is still excellent within the system when it
Okay, so
works,
Drew
when the
Brees
rhythm
wasn't
and
a next
timing is there.
level. So Drew Brees wasn't a
Is
next
Tua
level
Drew
quarterback.
Brees? Drew Brees is a. Why are we
Yes,
comparing Tua to Hall of
yes,
Famers? It's his
because
third year in the league. Why are we
I think.
comparing the Hall of Fame quarterbacks?
Oh, by the way, Marcel, so you'll know history. Tua is 1,000 times better than Drew Brees was right now in his career. Just so you'll know. Just so you'll know,
It's
my
not,
brother.
it's a
Just so you'll know.
goofy game. That's a goofy game to play. Drew Brees is an established Hall of Fame quarterback. Like he's just established. Tua is in year 3. Tua doesn't even have a
Yeah,
second contract.
and he's ahead of
Tua's
and he's
like
say it with me. He's ahead of Drew Brees.
how many
Say it with
quarterbacks
me.
was Robert Griffin III better than as a rookie? And where did that get him? How many
That
quarterbacks was Colin Kaepernick better than? Where did that get him? How
that
many
was a coach.
quarterbacks? How did Jared
That was
Goff
a coach
look? How did
sabotaging
Carson
you.
Wentz look after 3 years? Like,
What happened?
what are we
What happened
doing?
before?
What are we
What happened
doing?
before RG3 was his coach served him up and left him out there injured with one leg, and then Haloti Nada finished his ass
Like
off, bro.
the whole
I mean,
point is like we're not comparing full careers to partial careers right now. Like Tua is Tua.
no, but
Tua is not Drew Brees.
you gotta start. No, but you say he can't play off script, and then I tell you, Bob Greasy doesn't play off script. Drew Brees doesn't play off script. Joe Montana's not
Bro,
playing off
we're gonna
script.
bring up the
Brent Tarkenton did actually.
we're gonna bring up the 70s. We're gonna bring up the 70s and 80s and 90s.
Drew Brees is the
Greasy?
70s and the 90s. He's not the 2000s.
Did you just say
I'm
Greasy?
sorry, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did Drew Brees not just retire a couple years ago?
And how was he when he retired? How was he when the game? How was he when the game evolved? How was he when the game evolved? Like we're not. You're missing the point completely.
What are you talking about, bro? He and Sean Payton lit up the NFL. Did you watch anything
from 07 to 2016?
Whatever.
They won their title, and then what?
Matter, bro. The greatest show on turf. It doesn't matter. You think Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and Marshall Falk won't run nowadays, dude? Are you playing the old man game now? Like
where's the Marshall? Where's the Marshall? Like where's the Marshall Falk? Where's the Marshall Falk on this team? But it doesn't matter. Like I feel like things of
the past that don't work now.
What
you're doing?
Is that not what you've been doing for the past 10 minutes? Talk about Bob Greasy and Drew Brees and Kurt Warner.
I'm trying to show you that the off-script stuff is a bullshit narrative.
Yeah, that's the exception. It's the exception. It's the exception, not the rule.
Mean shit, dude.
It is the exception, not the rule. Yes, it does.
Where does Peyton Manning going off script, my brother? Where is Tom Brady going off script?
First of all, Peyton Manning was the damn script. Peyton Manning wrote the script. Peyton Manning wrote the script. What are you talking about? Everything that happened, Peyton saw 4 plays.
You're not running, dude. You're saying are you saying Tom Brady and Peyton Manning play like Josh Allen?
Actually, you know what I am saying? I'm saying Tua is not Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Tua is not Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Then why bring them up?
Because
then why bring them up?
Because they're pocket passers, dude. They're not off.
He is not them. He's not them, dude. He's not that. This is a new era of quarterback.
I know.
This is a new era of football.
He's more like Montana and Breeze. Okay, that's what he is.
Where are the statues? Like, where are the statues in today's game? Today, 2022. I give a fuck about 2002. Who are these statue pocket passers? Can't move outside the pocket.
The statue has won more titles than everybody else.
Where today are the statues on the top tier of quarterbacks? I don't either.
Yeah,
like, what are we arguing about? What are we talking about? 03 and 04. We're talking about the 72 Dolphins team.
And how many of those moving quarterbacks have titles?
I think Patrick Mahomes has a
Thanks
title.
for playing. Thanks for playing again. Thanks for
Like,
playing.
Patrick Mahomes
Where's
just
Josh
won a
Allen?
title.
Where's the trophy for Josh Allen, bro? Where are they? I'm
I
sorry,
don't
I
know. He
must
keeps
have missed
losing.
it, my brother.
I don't know.
Where
He
are
keeps
the
losing
trophies?
to
Wait a
another
minute.
quarterback who excels off script.
Hey, Lamar
He keeps
Jackson's off
he
script,
keeps
my
losing.
brother. Where are all those titles? Where are the
Lamar
titles?
Jackson is not off script. Lamar Jackson is one read and he runs. Like that's his off script. Like if Tua
Okay,
had that in him,
so
that'd be nice. But like they're not the same passer.
Outside of the guy in Kansas City, what else you got?
The guy we just saw play today, the guy they just saw play 2 weeks
no
ago.
titles. No. It's about titles. It's about titles. Okay.
Then Pat Mahomes just did it.
No, bro. We're talking titles now. Okay. Breeze has titles. Montana has titles. Greasy has titles. Where's Josh Allen?
In 2009,
where's Josh Allen?
Was it in 2009 and 1972? I don't know. Josh Allen's on the winning podium tonight, dude. Like
you're running circles.
I don't understand. Like I never said Tua was the reason they lost.
You brought up a narrative that has nothing to do with what happened tonight.
Because you keep throwing unnecessary information in here. It's 1 a.m. and I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You keep bringing up Bob Greasy and Peyton Manning when we're talking about Tua Tagovailoa.
No, it's education, not information.
Yeah, it's simple. It is simple common sense. Tua is not Peyton Manning. Like I will not take. You're right. I won't accept that. I don't care if every comment cooks me for saying it. I know. Don't boo me when I'm right. You're asking. You're saying Peyton Manning. It worked for Peyton Manning.
You're spinning it. You said no. You said off script. You said off script. It doesn't matter your size. It doesn't matter your speed. Off script. You said that yourself. That Tua's not off script. I just gave you the guy that's won the most titles, and he's a statue. And another guy that won 2 titles
because he is one of the greatest players to play this game. He is arguably the smartest player to ever play this game.
Be a great player being a statue.
Is Tua's up here? Is that Peyton Manning?
Hey, by
the way, Tom Brady? Is he up here? Is he Drew Brees?
Oh, by the way,
what did you remember when we had a conversation like in August when you told me that Teddy Bridgewater with a little more talent would be a Hall of Famer? Yes. Because of up here, Like then let's go back to talking about the mentals. Like it doesn't matter if you only have one half of the equation. Is he Drew Brees? Right. Does he see the game like Drew Brees? Or do they just have similar have similar physical qualities?
No, I think he's exactly like those guys. Super smart. They see the field, and they're super accurate. Yes. And by the way, I think he's more Montana than Breeze. Just so you'll know. Okay?
I think
as a guy that we've mentioned them all, actually.
I think that there have been 7 Hall of Fame quarterbacks mentioned in this conversation when we're originally talking about a guy in his 3rd season. I think these comparisons are insane.
No.
I think they're asinine comparisons.
You just cornered him by saying he can't be great if he's not off script.
I said that's what's keeping him. That's what's keeping him. That is what's keeping him from the next echelon. I've been saying this for 3 weeks, and you sat on the other side of the camera. But now all of a sudden, well, Peyton Manning did it, so so can Tua. Like, what are we talking about? I've said the same thing for 3 weeks. I've said the same thing for 3 weeks.
By the way,
that's great. Let's see this one. That's great for them. Let's see this one.
It happens all the time.
Okay, I don't care. Then let it happen here. Why isn't it happening here? Oh,
it'll evolve as time goes on, dude. Guys will show up again in the league that aren't great moving around, but they're smart enough to work right from the pocket. All they need is a foot here, a foot there. They don't need to move that much. There's lots of those, Marcel. You make it sound, again, you're young, so you're painted into a picture now that you think everybody's got to be athletic and run. And so I get it that's where the game is going. I understand that. But the guy that still can play from the pocket can still win in this league and be elite and be a Hall of Famer. And apparently you don't think so. That's all.
If we're in 1997, then I probably wouldn't be making this argument.
Right, and Drew Brees didn't play in 1997.
If this was 2009, I probably wouldn't be making this argument. This whole conversation has gotten
only on decade.
This whole conversation has gone, ironically, so far off script. The only point I was making is that we're still not seeing that. I did not say Tua didn't do enough to win. I said we're still not seeing the off script stuff from him. He did enough. I just complimented him before. I was talking about how he moved the defense with his eyes, about his ball placement to Waddle, about his ball placement to Hill. I didn't say he's a bad thrower of the football. He is excellent. When the system's working, he is excellent. When everything is operating in synergy, he has been excellent. But everything doesn't operate in synergy all the time. And that is just the next thing that we need to see from Tua. Like that's all. Can they win? Can he win like this? Sure, they've won 8 fucking games. Yes, they can win like that. The next thing from him, the part that makes him into a quarterback that evens odds, the one that overcomes mismatches and adversity and bad weather and injuries and all this and bad play calling and all this shit. That's what the next level of quarterbacks do. That's the next step that we're looking from Tua. I didn't say he's a bad quarterback. I'm not gonna sit here.
You're expecting Mike Gesicki to block too now? Is that what's
well? Other tight ends have had good careers without blocking, so I don't know.
You hanging out with a genie or something? Did you rub some kind of a lamp?
You're
completely unrealistic. That's not who he is.
The gaslight, like you are gaslighting like a college senior talking to a freshman right now. Like we're so far off the conversation, man. Like that is what I'm saying. That's
brought up something that has nothing to do with it, dude.
Yes, it does.
Nothing to do with it. If you look at the talent, if you look at the player, you have to understand that that's not who he is. So you're putting unrealistic expectations. So when he doesn't meet your unrealistic expectations, you're going to blame him when it's your fault because you couldn't see what the player really is. That's the problem. It's like asking Mike Gesicki to block when he can't play like Pat Mahomes, dude. He's never going to play like Russell Wilson. He's not going to play like that. That's not who he is. He has to play like Tom Brady, like Peyton Manning, like Drew Brees, like Joe Montana. He has to stay in the pocket, make his hay, once in a blue moon, run out and gain a couple yards. But if you want him, scrambling around like all these other guys, that's not who he is, dude. He doesn't have that kind of athleticism. So that's where I'm telling you, you couldn't be more wrong because that's not who he's ever going to be. Ever.
That's okay.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Then we're going to watch teams continue to make him hold on to the ball, and we're going to continue to. I'm not going to have this conversation anymore. We're just going to watch it. We're just going to watch teams continue to make him hold on to the ball, continue to take away the middle of the field, and we're going to just sit here and we're going to yell at everybody except for. We're going to yell at everybody except for it. Like
take the middle of the field.
It's fine.
And play all the way.
Hey, this is it's the big old show. This isn't the Marcel Louis-Jacques show. Whatever you say goes. Whatever you say goes. Like we're sitting here talking about in circles.
I get that, but he adjusted today with the running game, and that's what you're supposed to do. Okay? I mean, that's what you would and you if you notice when he goes to the outsides, the backwards were coming in when he was having success. Then it was opening up the middle of the field at that time. Once you start running and throwing to the sides, the guys got sucked in, and he was able to go over the top and into the middle, and that's where he had the Waddle play. But dude, you have to adjust. That's part of the game. So you make it sound like if they take away the middle, he's stuck in a pocket and he can't find anything. That can't be the reality, bro. Come on.
Sure. Sure. Bro, like I'm not going to talk about this anymore. We're talking in circles.
All right.
We're talking in circles. Let's move on. Let's talk about the defense or some shit. Let's talk about the O-line. Let's talk about anything else. Let's talk about anything else.
What else stood out to you that you might say cost them the game?
Well, again, beyond abandoning the run, an inability to get off the field on third down. It's a troubling trend over the past 3 weeks that is now it's bit them in the ass once again. 3rd and 17, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4. It doesn't matter anymore. Like they are incapable. It's almost like they either cause a big play or they're giving up slow bleeds.
Well, they're not good.
It's let
They're
me
not good.
I had the numbers. I had the third down stats up. Um, where they go? 8 of 14.
Who's special on this team on defense right now?
Javon Holland, Jalen
Right.
Phillips,
Mm-hmm.
Christian Wilkins.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kader Kohu's got potential to be special, but we see we see a lot of rookie mistakes in critical moments. We've seen a couple PIs in critical moments.
Which is
This one.
understandable for a young kid like him. You can let it
I'm not
slide.
glad. Yeah, I'm not telling you. I'm not calling him. I'm not calling him trash. I'm not calling him trash. I'm not saying kick him off the team. I'm not saying kick him off the team. But things like DPI or hold whatever that was, it can't happen in that situation.
Right. Of course.
Another
Of course.
another third down. Another third down.
And
Red zone
Sealer.
efficiency was
And
bad,
Sealer, right?
but Sealer was good today. I thought Wilkins wasn't as impactful as he's been the past 2 weeks, but that's just because of how high the bar was set, how high of a bar he has set over the past 2 weeks. Beyond that,
Okay, so
there's
Marcel,
too many
you would agree
instances
with
of.
me? Hold on. So you would agree with me? Those 5 guys you mentioned are pretty much your impactful players right now on defense. That's it. X is not what he was before. Obviously, you can tell, dude. He's not even close to the monster he's been in the past. You can tell that the explosion is not there with him, and he can't play as aggressive. And then anybody else you name on that defense, Chubb unfortunately has not even come close to meeting up the standards that he either signed for or you traded for. So how can this defense be great when there's only 5 guys that you can really count on, down in and down out? And one of them is not playing, Sealer, does he get as many snaps? He gets a little less. So, he doesn't even get as many as you would like. But think about that. How can we expect any kind of greatness from that?
It's hard. It's hard, and I don't like using injuries as an excuse because no team, no winning team likes to hear that. No winning side likes to hear that from the other team. Like nobody in week 3, nobody liked to hear, "Oh, we were injured, we're missing, we're this," from Buffalo fans. So I don't like to hang on to injuries like that. But when the strength of this team, when this defense is built around the strength of the secondary, and you lose 70% of the secondary, all of a sudden you're developing a new defense on the fly. I think, if you've got Brandon Jones, if you've got Byron Jones, you've got Nick Needham, and you can work Kohu in as you see fit. Shoot, I don't even know if you just had Needham and Brandon Jones.
No, remember True Williams was climbing
True
also.
Williams was so the depth is shot. The starting talent has taken a hit. Like we have seen a defense try to recalibrate itself on the fly, and it often doesn't work, and they're often off page or off. They're out of whack.
So I feel that you're absolutely unrealistic about Tua. Are people sometimes unrealistic about this defense and what they're asking of Boyer?
You broke up a little bit there. What'd you say?
So as I feel like you're unrealistic with Tua, thinking he's going to be an off-the-fly guy and running around all that. I don't think that'll ever happen. There are a lot of people out there that expect more from the defense. Is it fair to expect more from the defense in Boyer when only 5 guys are really the impactful players for you week in and week out?
I mean, I guess so. I think it's the NFL, and so you kind of expect people to adjust. Like you expect to find that level. You expect to find your success, to find a way, if you will. Like I'm not ready to burn Josh Boyer's house down. Like I'm not ready to run him out of town. Like I don't think it's that dramatic. Like sometimes we can kind of, as you just saw, everybody in attendance just saw. Sometimes you can talk yourself in circles about things when in reality, like sometimes you just straight up lose a game. Sometimes you just straight up lose a game. Were there opportunities that Miami should have taken advantage of? Of course, absolutely. But like missed plays are part of the game. They happened on both sides. One team made more plays than the other at the end of the day, and there's no shame to losing to Buffalo and Buffalo like this. Everybody I've spoken with in that tunnel, media from both sides, particularly Buffalo media, have told me this team can beat the Bills. If they come back here in the playoffs, this team can beat the Bills. Like that, people came away highly impressed from Miami's play this week or Miami's play.
I'm happy. I'm happy with the team, bro.
Like they can be.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud
Buffalo.
of the team. Super disappointed in McDaniel, but I am really happy with the team. Really happy with the team, dude. I thought they played well enough to win. Seriously, I thought the receivers too many drops, and then I think McDaniel's decisions really cost this team, dude. Just really do. I would feel good if I'm a Dolphins fan out there for the next 3 games after this kind of performance. And Tua too. I thought he played well, and he needed to play well after the last 2 games where he played absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I think this was and what we saw, we heard Tua say in the week, he wanted those short completions. He wanted to see, in theory, the ball go through the hoop. He did that. He did that tonight. He hit his checkdowns tonight. He was more accurate tonight. There weren't throws he made that was just, you're saying, what on earth? Like, what were you doing? And he's usually been good, like this, from a decision-making process. Actually, I think there were 1 or 2. The one that really stands out was, I think, he tried to throw that out route to Waddle in, it must have been the 3rd quarter because they're going opposite the press box. 3rd quarter, throws an out route to Waddle covered by Tre'Davious White. That is one of those decisions, when I talk about going off script, that is one of those decisions that it feels like, okay, that's my read. Like that's where we want to go with the ball. Like I'm just going to make it happen no matter what. And that was a poor decision. It didn't burn them at the end of the day, but like those still pop up every now and then. But he was much better tonight than he had been the previous 2 weeks. And I thought, last game his stats were bad, but Guys weren't open and they weren't adjusting to that physical press. And
yeah,
it felt like banging their head against the wall. San Francisco, he was bad. I thought he was worse against the Niners than he was against the Chargers, ironically.
Oh, yeah. No, he was terrible against the Niners. The worst part about the Niners was those plays were wide open. That was the worst part about the Niners. At least the Charger game, they were covered. They played them up tight and all that, and so they didn't give them a lot of airspace. And kudos to those guys, bro. They stepped up. But, yeah, and the Niners game hurt because, like, he missed wide open people, dude. Like, shit that he never does. It's really weird. Like, he never plays like that. So, what we saw tonight is what we've seen for the other 8 games. And the guy's going to be on target more often than not. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just run.
I do want to I think there's a way on True Media to isolate plays, like pass attempts from outside the pocket or pass attempts longer than whatever yards. Because I do, obviously I say a lot about Tua off script, but I want to watch. I do want to see what his receivers are doing when he's trying to buy time. I want to see what the scramble drill is. I always loved the Packers back in Aaron Rodgers' heyday. The Packers used to run scramble drills specifically for when he rolls out of the pocket. You have alternative routes. If you're running a go, like you're going to snap that off and come back to the ball. You're going to do X, Y, Z. I'm curious how much of that they do here. I want to see what his receivers do to help him out before I put the onus on him.
Not a fair comparison. Okay.
I want to do. It's less about, but that's less about the quarterback and more about the scheme itself. It's less about the quarterback and more.
That mother effer can move around, and he throws the ball like it's a
But the thing is, Tua's not unathletic. Like that's the thing. Like when we compare him to Drew Brees, Tua's more athletic than Drew Brees. Tua is more athletic than Peyton Manning. He's more athletic than Tom Brady.
But not enough to be Mahomes. Not enough to be Russell Wilson. Not enough for Jalen Hurts. Not enough. I mean, forget it. Now I'm getting crazy.
He's not design runs for him mobile, but he's shifty enough. He's shifty and athletic enough that he should be able to extend a play and throw on the run. I think when we talked about, and it's going to be a hot button issue, whatever. When we talked about arm strength, it was never when people said he can't throw the ball downfield, I used to think it was the dumbest thing in the world. Yes, he can throw the ball downfield. That's not
So is
where
not
the
playing
concern
in the
is.
cold or the rain. That's ridiculous too, bro. Give me a break. Come on,
Like,
dude. He now has coaching. He now has more talent. His problem the last 2 years was he was surrounded by crap, dude. That was his problem more than anything else the last 2 years. Now he has a fighting chance every damn week. That's why he can perform with any kind of weather, bro. Just design it the right way and he'll be fine. That's all. It's not that difficult, you know? But whatever. Anyway, what are you working on ESPN, bro, so you can get the hell out of here?
I was about to say, I'm just catching up to trying to tell my editor I'm on the radio. I've got like 4 or 5 slacks from him. I'm sorry, man. But let's see. Positives. Let's what the rest of the season looks like, how they match up against Green Bay, against New York, against New England. I'm gonna watch this film and kind of find
little rip job
exactly
for
how
McDaniel.
things went
I
wrong.
want a little rip job for McDaniel now.
And we'll see. We'll see that. We'll see because
Spank
nobody's complaining about McDaniel's play calling if Sherfield or Tyreek catch that touchdown. Like, nobody's complaining if they complete the third down slant and then hit the field goal at the end. Like, nobody. It's like going for it on fourth down, going for it on 2-point conversions. Like, nobody complains when it goes right. Like, we criticize when it goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to make sure.
You went wrong every time tonight. That's the problem. You didn't have anything to fall back on all those third downs. They all went awry every single time. And meanwhile, the running game is golden. So it's crazy. All right, go get your other job done. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ and catch his work there at ESPN. Have a great weekend and safe travels, dude.
Yes, sir. Peace.
You got it. There we go. You now have the edge. Don't forget, Big O. Use the code. You get 10% off the finest energy drink on the planet. myedgedrink.com. Delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. I swear to you, when you order this thing and get it, you're going to remember me forever. You're going to drop every stinking energy drink you've ever tried before, because this one just absolutely crushes them all. There is no aftertaste. Every damn sports drink I've ever tried has an aftertaste until this one, Edge, and it tastes delicious. And when you mix it with a little vodka, whew, it is out of control. Only 78 calories, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. myedgedrink.com. Use the code Big O. Get 10% off.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.